Hey everyone, it's Ryan with Yota Works. I'm just making a quick tutorial video here on how to depin your stock wiring harness for your third brake light and swap over to the connector that I supply with the VisionHub for the GX460s. So, the deal with this is that the stock wiring harness that comes on the GX460, this is the plug that they use, and unfortunately these plugs, they don't really make a male-sided version of this that you can get. And so to make this as plug and play as possible, what I did is I sourced a similar style connector that uses the exact same pins, and what you have to do is just depin your connector and then swap over to this, and then it plugs in really easily. So the whole goal is that you should be able to easily return this back over to your stock setup without having to do any crimping or soldering or any of that kind of stuff. So here we go. Let's dive into this guy. So this connector here has two safety latches in it that you gotta understand how to take apart. So this first one is the white piece of plastic in here. This is the first safety mechanism you gotta get through. And all you gotta do, I like to use just this little flat bladed kind of jeweler's screwdriver. You just kind of pop this guy out. And once you see it popped out here, let me zoom in, this will make it more easier. Once you get that popped out, you can either pull it the rest of the way out, or if you need, just grab a small pair of pliers and you can pop this guy all the way out. And once that's out of the way, you have access to the latching mechanism that is underneath the terminals in here. So, this is a 2-pin connector. You're going to depin both of them in here. And if you can tell closely, there's a little gap on the bottom of the pins here on each side. And within here, there is a plastic latch. And so I'll try and get this as best as I can. It's kind of hard to grab on video, but with the flat bladed screwdriver, you're just going to slide this underneath that pin until you hit the plastic latch in there. You pull it down, and then while you're doing that, you can pull the pin out from the back, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Should only take a minute to do. So I'll go ahead and do this other one. Just kind of bend that plastic tab down, and then that's it. So this is your stock connector. I'm going to put that to the side, save it. And so this is what you're left with. Your wiring harness is going to look like this now. And here's the connector I supply. Like I said, exact same connectors, like pin terminals that they use on both of them. So it should be just plug and play. And this is the connector on the VisionHub itself. Now on your wiring harness, these aren't going to be black. One is going to be a white with a black stripe. That's going to be your negative. And then the other one was going to be a blue shaded wire. And the way you're going to pin this up is that the black and white, that's your negative, that's going to go to the black wire on the VisionHub, and then the blue one is going to match up with the red wire. And so just pay attention to that when you're pinning up the new connector here. So the red's on the top here and the black's on the bottom. So imagine this one is the blue. You're just going to, let's make sure we got this the right way. There's a gap on the back of the connector on one side, and then the other one is flat. So just make sure the gap is going towards the safety latch side. And you should hear it click in. And then this would be the other side here. That one's clipped in. And then this one also has the safety mechanism as well. And so once you get the pins clipped in there, you just got to snap that in. And then you're also swapped over to the new connector. You can pop it in and it should be good to go. If for some reason your light does not light up after this, try swapping the pins over. You might have reversed it, or it's possible that, I guess, they've switched the colors on the wiring harnesses through the years. But from what I've seen, they've all been black and blue like that for the positive and negatives. But switch them over, try it again. And one last note on that, the third brake light does not light up with the light switch being on. You have to actually depress the brakes for that to turn on if you're checking it. So that should be everything. If you got any questions, just send me an email, ryan@yota.works, or on Instagram, Yota Works, or through the website. You can get in contact with me there as well. All right. Thanks, guys.